Hello, and welcome to this short little video about graphing. All right, so a couple things you need to know about graphing before you begin your work. For starters, we're going to look at this actual graph here, okay? So I've set up a little graph. It has numbers from 1 to 13 along the bottom and the numbers 1 to 13 up the top. So this bottom, this is the x-axis, okay? That is its name. And the vertical line here going up, that is known as the y-axis. All right? So whenever we're doing graphs, we're going to set them up like this, with a y-axis and an x-axis, okay? And I've just chosen numbers 1 to 13 just at random, okay? Decided this is what we're going to make. All right, over here, I have made what is called a table of values. And this could be anything like dates, it could be ages. For example, maybe we could say that it's a win, the X will be wins and the Y will be losses, okay, if you're like on a sports team. Okay, and what we can do with these table of values is we can take these numbers and we can put them on this graph, and then we can have a look and see what does the data tell us. Okay, so to do that, the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to look at the first row of numbers. So we have a 2 on the X and a 5 on the Y. So we're going to find the 2 on the x-axis, and we're going to find the 5 on the y-axis, and I'm just going to put a dot. That's just a point. That is where this numbers are located on this graph. Okay, and I'm going to do that for the rest. So we have 9 and 4. All right. And then we have 12 and 11. And we have 1 and 8. And then we have 2. Actually, let's change this to 4. We'll change that to 4. 4 and 13. So that's way up there. All right, so now I've plotted these numbers on here. So what we can do is, with a ruler, we can connect the dots. We can connect them with a line. So I have that. My little tripod is kind of getting in the way here. And we did a little bit of this way back in the day when we looked at weather for the month. And I had you put the high and the low temperature on a graph that looked just like this almost. All right, so here we have our wins and our losses, and we can take a look at this and we can say, well, you know what, we're very inconsistent with our wins and losses. Okay, so if you were a coach of like a basketball team, maybe you would have a look at your wins and losses and be like, well, we're all over the map. We win and we lose, and then, we lose hardcore, and then maybe it's close and so on. And then you can figure out what you want to do as far as coaching goes. Okay. So that's just parts of a graph. So remember, there's X on the bottom and Y going up. And this here is the table of values. Okay, so what's a little bit more of a practical thing? This is, as I mentioned, something that we have done earlier on. Okay, so sometimes along the x-axis you won't have numbers. Okay, you might, in this case, I have months. So April, May, June, July, August, and September. Okay, and up here I have numbers starting at 10, going up by 2s all the way to 30, okay, along the y-axis. All right, and then here I have my table of values. So let's just pretend that these here are the average temperatures for each of those months. I've gone online and I found out some data, and I want to see what the changes in weather are like. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to treat this exactly the same. So this is our X and this is our Y. Okay, so the month of April is 10. So I go here and I make a dot next to the 10. All right. May, the average temperature, we'll pretend was 15. So you notice I have 14, I have 16. There's not a number there exactly, so I'm just going to stick it right in the middle because it's kind of right in the middle of both of those things. Okay, June, our average is 25. Again, I have a 24 and a 26, no 25, so I'm just going to stick it right in the middle there. July, okay, our average temperature is 28. Okay, so that's 28 on July. August, our average temperature, we'll pretend was 20. And then September, our average temperature, we'll pretend is 10. Okay, so then we can connect these and see what changes in weather look like. Okay, so we'll just go like this, and then like this, and then like this, and then like this. All right, so there we go. We can take a look at this graph and we can say, okay, so in April it was chilly, and in September it was chilly, okay? But we can see that over the summer months it gets progressively hotter, and then we peaked at 28 degrees in July, and then it kind of steadily declined. Now, if we extended this, say, October, November, and December, we could even go like below the line, right? If we had, say, October, our average temperature was like minus 10, right? Maybe we put a dot down here somewhere, and then we can connect this line below the graph, okay? So, yes, we can have numbers above, and we can have negative numbers, and then we can have numbers going that way, positive, and we can even have numbers going this way as negatives. But we're not going to worry about that now. So, just as a little review, we have the x-axis on the bottom, we have the y-axis going up, and then we have a table of values. Okay, so this week I'm going to get you to make some graphs. I'm going to get you to answer some questions about different graphs. And yeah, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call and ask. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.